Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Attorney Jonathan Perazzo, also known as Law by JP. I'm licensed in the states of Florida, Georgia, and Texas. Today we're talking about Florida's new HALO law, which went into effect on January 1st, 2025. This law makes it a crime to come within 25 feet of first responders while they're conducting traffic stops or managing emergency situations. This hits close to home for me because I handled a case like this back many moons ago when I was a criminal defense attorney. Back then, I defended a man who was arrested for recording officers while keeping a safe distance. We're going to break down the HALO law and how it might impact cases like the one I've handled. Here's what the HALO law establishes. If a first responder tells you to back away and maintain a 25-foot distance, you're required by law to comply. Failure to do so can result in a misdemeanor charge with penalties of up to $500 in fines and 60 days in jail. This law applies to situations involving law enforcement officers, firefighters, and paramedics while they're actively performing their duties. Supporters of the law say that it's about protecting first responders from interference or potential threats. They say that keeping people at a safe distance allows officers and paramedics to focus on their jobs without being distracted by bystanders. Now let's clear something up. This law does not take away your right to record. The First Amendment still protects your right to film in public and to film public officials, including police officers, as long as you aren't interfering with their duties. But if a first responder does instruct you to move back, you have to stay at least 25 feet away. Refusing to comply could get you charged with obstruction of justice. Now, this new law brings to mind a case I handled, where my client was arrested for recording an officer during a traffic stop in Miami-Dade County. He was hired as a DJ at a promotional event when he witnessed a man being thrown to the ground during an arrest. He started to record with his phone, standing about 20 feet away, and despite this, the officer claimed that he didn't comply with his command to back off, even though the video clearly showed that my client stepped back into the store and closed the door. For more details on that case, click the link below and you can find out. Cases like that one I mentioned highlight some of the problems with the HALO law. First, how do you accurately measure 25 feet in a fast-moving situation? What happens if somebody believes that they were far enough away, but an officer disagrees? Second, terms like harassment and interference can be subjective, meaning they could be interpreted differently depending on the officer or the situation. This creates a risk of over-enforcement that could discourage people from recording lawful public interactions. Similar laws have faced legal challenges in other states. For example, in Arizona, a law prohibiting recording police within 8 feet was struck down for being too restrictive and violating the First Amendment. If the HALO law is applied too broadly or inconsistently, it could also face legal challenges in the future and be struck down. So, what's the takeaway from here? The HALO law is designed to enhance public safety, but it needs to be applied carefully to avoid infringing on constitutional rights. Whether this law holds up in court will depend on how it's enforced. If you're in Florida, stay informed, know your rights, and always comply with lawful orders to avoid unnecessary legal trouble. If you have any questions or thoughts, drop them in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.